December 2018 to June 2024. Now, where are they getting that US from? One of the things that will shock the country is the amount of borrowing of US currency that this government has engaged in order to prop up, because that's what they've been doing. They've been propping up the foreign exchange. The other shocker that will come is what they intend to do with some of the other major state enterprises, TNTech, WASA, NP, PowerGen. When they finish, Mikey, we as the citizens would have no stake in any state enterprise that deliver the critical services to our population. And that will be the huge shocker when we realize that the social support infrastructure that has been built up over the years from independence to now is no longer there. You know what I heard today, Mikey? That now certain pharmacies are not even taking prescriptions by the hospitals or the RHAs. They're not honoring those prescriptions. So people now have to go to private enterprises, private health centers, in order to get prescriptions, and then they have to pay themselves. So everything that we have as a social security system that provides, at least for the citizens, at least some semblance of a standard of living, that will be gone. And I think that will be the major shocker for everyone.
Give us an idea as far as your members. I mean, the stories that you're hearing, and I mean, I'm sure that you are burdened with them on a daily basis. You would have had former petroleum workers, people who simply just cannot keep their heads above water. Give us an idea of what's been happening with these individuals.
A lot of those individuals would have lost their homes. They would have lost their vehicles. Many of them, they lost their medical plan. Many of them died. We've had almost 500 of them dying. That's retirees. Now their pension is in jeopardy. That's the other shocker that's coming. The pension plan, the Petroleum Employees Pension Plan, which is one of the largest pension plans within our finance system, if that collapses, then our finance sector collapses. So that's just another shocker. In addition, you're talking about the TNTech workers and their struggle in terms of lack of health and safety in TNTech, the lack of trucks, the inavailability of manpower, because there is a significant reduction in manpower in TNTech. That means that can affect the operations and therefore the supply of electricity. Those workers, we are enjoying electricity because those workers are going over and beyond with the little that they are provided to ensure that the country has a reliable supply of electricity, but they can only do so much for so long. So that is another one that is coming.
Go ahead.
But you also have the workers at NP, UE, UTT, NATPET, PowerGen, National Quarries, NTA. It's across all the sectors, Mikey, where people are struggling just to put food on their table, just to provide for their family. You know, many people would have been kicked out of their homes because they cannot afford the rent. They can't, and you know that you have TTMF hanging down people now. They're acting as this aggressive machinery. So you can't even lapse with 1 month's payment in your mortgage to TTMF. So that is the kind of burden that people are enduring. And that is why this obscene acceptance by the Prime Minister of 47.5% is really a slap in the face of the population. And that is why people are reacting. And sometimes, the thing is, Mikey, the way sometimes revolution works, people take. And then there's just one thing more that the authorities do that they just can't take it anymore.
I agree with you. Tell us more about Saturday, comrade. Where's the gathering? And of course, the whole process as getting to the destination, Whitehall. gathering time. Go right ahead and give us the logistics, please.
Well, we wanted to, first of all, it has to be at the office of the Prime Minister. Symbolically, it has to be there. But we wanted, the good thing is that it's right, luckily it's not where it used to be. It's right opposite an open field, open public space for people to gather in the savannah opposite the Whitehall from 9 a.m. From 9 a.m. And I think that show of force, and that is why the numbers are important, will send a clear message to the government that the people, not just trade unions, because this activity is not about trade unions, but the people of Trinidad and Tobago will not tolerate any more of this disregard for the struggles that we are going through on a day-to-day basis. So that is opposite Whitehall, Queen's Park Savannah, 9 a.m. this Saturday, December the 7th.
Is this the first of many to come?
We will announce several other activities and come out on Saturday morning so you can hear what the next series of activities will be.
All right. Any closing comments? Go right ahead.
My closing comment is that there comes a time in any person's life where you have to just take a stand. Quarreling on social media, making TikTok videos and IG and so on and on Facebook, that's all well, nice. But you see, when you are asked to take a stand and put your physical body and being in a space with many thousand others to send a clear message, I think by doing that, you do justice to your children and your children's children. Taking a stand to express your dissatisfaction is a fundamental right that you have. And it is doing more than simply quarreling or complaining. Let us band together in a united struggle for a better Trinidad and Tobago. This is not just about workers. This is not just about trade unions. This is just about Trinidad and Tobago.
All right. Thank you so much, comrade. Keep up the fight. Stand with you in solidarity. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, folks, that was the General Secretary of the Joint Trade Union Movement, JTUM, Mr. Ozzy Warwick, and he spoke about Saturday. And I'm certain that some people would weigh in and say, listen, this was something that should have been done at whatever time. But my good colleague Lennox Smith always says, no bad breezes blow. And timing is, is very critical. But the issue here really and truly is the fact that, when he made the comment that they came out alone, I mean, some people would say, well, who was invited? I mean, did we know? Was it a trust issue? And what have you? And I'll give you a chance to wait on that before we close up. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll be speaking to PNM activist Barry Garcia. He says, big plans. He said, regardless of how it seems, PNM has big plans for the upcoming general election. We'll be right back.
This season, whatever job needs to be done for your home or business, you can rely on Husqvarna, a global leader in outdoor power equipment, known for its high performance, durable, and innovative products. Available at ProVar Distributors Limited. We carry a wide range of Husqvarna equipment, power cutters, diamond saw blades, handheld blowers, trimmers and brush cutters, chainsaws, backpack blowers, water pumps, lawnmowers, lubricants, and all accessories. Full after sales and service support whenever you need it. Contact ProVar Distributors Limited at 233-9438 to find a dealer near you.
The Excel brand delivers quality service.
I would recommend Omega Excel to everyone.
Take care of yourself, take care of your health with Omega Excel.
If Omega Excel works for me, it will work for you.
Over a period of time, I started feeling stronger in my knee where I could add more pressure.
When you say TNT's construction boss, then there's only one company, Lacroix Construction Services Limited, specializing in general construction, industrial maintenance, manpower resources, transportation and lifting, and equipment rental, excavators, bulldozers, dump trucks, lighting systems, and everything for your project. We have affordable prices. Call now 267-0000 or 431-0012. Lacroix Construction Services Limited, TNT's construction boss.
Oh gosh, This place hot. And the AC in this car not working.
Check Ryan Air. Ryan Air is ranked among the best in TNT for auto air conditioning service. They specialize in repairing and servicing all makes and models of vehicles and heavy equipment. They also stock a wide range of parts. Give them a call at 640-5828 or visit them at number 41 Kane Farm Road, Tacarigua, or email ryanairac@gmail.com. For prompt and efficient service, look no further than Ryan Air.
And we are back, folks. We are back, and we are joined by a man who is no stranger to the Observer, very outspoken and always willing to add his voice. Let me say a pleasant good evening to PNM activist Mr. Barry Garcia. Good evening to you, Mr. Garcia.
Good evening, Mikey. Good evening to all your listeners on the World Wide Web.
Yeah, everyone here viewing. Barry, a lot is taking place. I mean, things are shaping up for the next general election. We're seeing the selection of candidates and what have you. Many people seem to want to shy away from the fact of why it is that Mr. Fitzgerald Hines was not selected once again to represent the people of Laventille West. Can you give us an insight on that?
Mikey, Fitzgerald Hines and I are personal friends, but I am saddened by the fact that the constituents is the one that said they don't want him back. When you have the Women's League of your constituency voting against you and the youth arm voting against you, that speaks to you. That speaks directly to you and your non-representation of the people. The politics has evolved. The people is not going to take any and anybody that they ram down their throat. They're not going to put up anybody and they're going to accept it. They want to be able to connect with the MP. They want to be able to have a relationship with the MP. And they want to be able to see the MP. All right? And these are the things that Mr. Hines may feel hurt, but he has to come to terms that he did not represent the people properly. And he has to come to terms with that.
Yeah, but in all fairness to Mr. Hines, and I think coming from me, this would be quite surprising. But I don't really and truly like to waste time. I like to get straight to the point of the matter. Mr. Hines, was he given any kind of assistance to help the people of Laventille West? I mean, he couldn't give what he didn't have, and the fact being that is that it seems as no matter who the PNM put there, Barry, they are going to vote for that candidate anyhow. So is Mr. Hines being used as a scapegoat?
I don't think so. I think you have to be able to build a relationship. Let me explain something to you, Mikey. In every constituency, be it UNC or PNM or any other party that holds a constituency, the people in the constituency know the MP can't do everything for them, you know. But what they want is to have connectivity with the MP. And if that is lacking, they would resent the MP. It's not the first time that the people said that they didn't want a candidate under the PNM, you know. It has happened before. And the people voiced their opinion loudly. Take, for instance, when Mr. Manning removed Penny in 2010. The Arima people rebelled and did not come out and vote because they wanted back Penny, because they found Penny to be a very good representative of them. She did not have all the resources needed to go and help the people, but the people were able to see her and communicate with her, and she was able to give them assurances that she is doing her best to represent them. And this is what you have to do for the people.
Right.
Okay.
So you're looking at now. Many people weighing in on this would look at what took place with young Kareem Marcel being selected, of course, to contest the seat. But really and truly, again, we're talking about an area that you can't really use any sort of political litmus test to say, this is how it's going to swing or this is how it's going to go. It is a PNM area. Regardless of that, I mean, so one has to ask the question, if they ask you, what's all this big thing about young Kareem Marcel? It's all good and well for his political resume, but is it really going to make a change?
Exactly. Well, I'll explain something to you. Kareem Marcel came from the BTM, and he has excelled. He has become an attorney. But what made Curry Marcel became attractive. Curry Marcel continues to service the community of Beetham. Recently, he held a football tournament in Beetham where on top, Lavantil on the Hill came down, Carnage, Maloney, a team from Penal participated and all of that. And he had everybody together and not one gunshot was spelled, not one cuss out, not one fight. Everybody was in unity. The thing about it is that Mr. Hines is the Minister of National Security. He has a hotspot constituency. And you haven't brought not one crime prevention initiative to that constituency as to uplift the young people in that constituency. And this is what Curry Marcel has done. Curry Marcel has come forward and is uplifting the young people in those constituencies, telling them they could exercise their willpower and turn it into a positive thing like sports and all of that and academics. Curry holds a Beetham Christmas party with the IATF police officers and has the whole Beetham ground packed with kids, presenting them with little gifts and so on. And these are the things that will attract people to you when you do these things. And to top it off, Hines did not attend the children party. Hines did not attend the football. That shows lack of interest in the people.
All right, so he's going to show up. All right, so we're getting into the heart of this, what's going to happen with this campaign. A lot of these changes, of course, may be viewed as just cosmetic, but taking into the entire scope of things, because now the incumbent, which is the PNM, has to say, listen, I have done a great job. It is for them to sell to us as the electorates that if you vote for me, I will continue to do a good job. But Barry, that's not the reality. The fact of the matter is, taking away from the whole Kareem Marcel having something to jump up for, that doesn't change the fact of the mismanagement of COVID, almost 5,000 murders in 9 years, home invasions, record reports of extortion, kidnapping incidents, poor academic performance in our schools, a stagnant economy with no direct foreign investment, no major revenue generating programs or policies, unemployment at an all-time high, petrotrin, dead babies in the NICU, 4% offer to the unions, and the list goes on and on and on. There has to be the reality that the job was not good, and regardless of what your lineup is, how are we going to vote for you again?
With Mikey, that some of those things they could be easily dispelled. All right, the party has a mechanism in place that it comes forward and it speaks to the people directly. You have a Minister of Youth and National Service who has been doing tremendous work with young people, opening up a number of programs for young people to get involved in. Tremendous program. Let me explain something to you. The crime part, let me give you something. Mr. Hines was in Ministry of Works. Dr. Rowley moved him. Mr. Hines was in Public Utilities. Dr. Rowley moved him. Mr. Hines was in National Youth and National Youth Service. Dr. Rowley moved him and put him in. He was in the Attorney General office. Dr. Rowley moved him and placed him in National Security. The police service is the backbone of your national security to solve crime. Dr. Rowley take that away from you and give it to Keith Scotland and put Keith Scotland in cabinet. What that speaks to you, Mikey? What that speaks to?
I don't see how Mr. Hines can be made a political scapegoat here. Now, your reply to what I read out said that a lot of those things can be dispelled. Isn't that a bit disingenuous to the fact that how can you tell someone whose home was invaded and they were beaten and robbed that is not a fact? How do you tell someone who has been called by criminals and say, listen, I want so and so money, I know where your children go to school, I know where you live, that you could simply dispel that? How could you simply say the people who died due to the mismanagement of COVID, loved ones who took their last breath on some ward, God only knows how they went out, that in itself can simply be dispelled? how do you dispel the reality that people are living on a daily basis, and on what grounds can the incumbent campaign on if all of this is real?
But how can you say the government mismanaged COVID? What are the realities in that in COVID? The government set up a parallel healthcare system to treat with COVID. Persons will die from it. People will die because COVID was not an easy thing. Over 2 million people died in America. People die all over the world. We didn't mismanage COVID. We were making, the opposition was making a crying to the government to get vaccine. When the vaccines come, the opposition was keep telling people don't trust the vaccine. How is that? That's not factual.
All right. Almost 5,000 murders. Go ahead. We'll go down the list. Almost 5,000 murders in the last 9 years. Go ahead.
Murders. I could speak to that. Criminality has become a norm in Trinidad and Tobago because everybody wants to get money fast. Everybody wants to get money fast. And I would put some blame on the government for that, right? For not putting things in place to curb with that. Because you have had a Minister of National Security who was not functioning in the best interest of the people. The police service is the public entity to take care of crime. And the police service is not functioning the way it's supposed to function. Government only act on policies. The National Security Council goes and advise the Prime Minister, advise the Minister of National Security, and they come with policies to deal with the crime. All they can do is to provide policies. The operational aspect of treating with crime depends on the crime institutions such as the police service, the customs, the immigration, the Coast Guard, the prisons, and all of them.
All right. So I guess you can cover home invasions and extortion and kidnapping in that same process. All right.
The police, with that, Mikey, the police is the one that is not functioning in society. Okay. And the government is not making sure that the police function because the police service has become too political.
All right. So we look at our poor academic performance in our school systems.
That has nothing to do with the Ministry of Education. That has to do with the teaching service. That has to do with the teaching service. Why it is these schools that are not poor academical tuitions? You have to deal with the teaching service. The ministry of itself cannot deal with the teaching service. There's something called the Teaching Service Commission who sits idly by and allow these things to take place.
All right. As the economy, no direct foreign investment, no major revenue generating programs or policies.
Then he has to go back to the Minister of Finance and ask him what he's doing. What things he is putting in place to impact the economy in a positive way? You have to treat with him.
All right, and let me ask you, if looking at that, do you think he should be treated the same way as Mr. Hines?
What?
Do you think then he should be treated the same way as Mr. Hines?
Depends on his constituents, on them. His constituents are not saying they don't want him, but Hines' constituents said that they didn't want him. Hines' constituencies is the ones that rebelled against him. It's not the party rebelled against Hines, you know. His constituents rebelled against Hines.
All right.
And he had to look in the mirror.
But you did mention his poor performance as a minister.
Yes, I did mention that, yes. But the constituents of itself, Mikey, when you become an MP, a member of parliament, your first priority is to your constituents. You must build a relationship with your constituents. You must be there for your constituents. Your constituents must have belief in you that you are doing things to affect their life positively. And if they are not seeing that in you, they will rebel, Mikey, regardless of who it is. It is not the first time that constituents has rebelled against a PNM candidate. Going up. Right. They said no to the General Council. We do not want that candidate because he has not functioned. It is the same thing going on in Tabret. McClutchy has not been there for the constituents and the party refused to put him back up.
And let me ask you, of course, I had Mr. Ozzy Warwick on, General Secretary of JTM, and he made it quite clear that the breaking point was the Prime Minister accepting this salary increase. What say you on that matter?
I think the timing is bad. But then again, it's not the Prime Minister alone. You have 950 public officers depending on that salary increase. What is alarming about the salary increase is the percentage that they have been increased by. Okay? You can't do that. You didn't give a justification on why the SRC has proposed that exorbitant amount of increase. Right? It's not just parliamentarians alone going to be properly remunerated from the increase. Is judiciaries, is the members of the public officers, 950 persons who will be accepting the remuneration.
Okay.
I think if the Prime Minister is smart and intelligent, he will say he will hold on the increase for the members of Parliament and let the public officers get the increase.
Right. And that is, of course, what the opposition leader made quite clear. She said that. Now let me... So let me ask you this. What more can we expect as we gear for the upcoming general election from the PNM?
The general election is going to be keenly fight. And one thing the PNM has done is PNM has marketed itself in every constituency on a very good basis. The PNM is not an easy party to throw out of office. They have a very good, strong ground machinery. They know how to talk to people, they know how to approach people, and they know what to tell people to buy into them. PNM is not a just come party just formed by the way, you know. The PNM is almost 70 years old. It's a very, very intelligent party. It may have its weaknesses, like everybody and every other thing, it has its weaknesses. But the PNM is sitting solidly, and they'll go out there and they'll fight the election very vigorously and intelligently. And maybe they will win the election.
Right. Barry, it's always good to have you on to get that insight and, of course, that different perspective. We'll be checking with you, of course, and all the best to you and the entire community down there.
All right. Thank you, Mikey.
Thank you so much. Well, that was Barry Garcia, PNM activist. I'll tell you what stood out there to me is that the fact that the incumbent believes that they have a campaign. That's the thing. And then you have to ask yourself now, who's at fault for making them believe? Because he's very confident of the fact that the reality that you are facing on a daily basis, the fact that your savings have been depleted, the fact that you stay up at night trying to find ways to see how best you could feed your family, the fact that bill collectors are calling, the fact that you worry about giving your child the best education, the fact that you may have been a two-car family and now you're down to one and perhaps you're simply down to nothing because you had to sell off things in order to keep your head above water. He is saying that your reality can easily be dispelled. Yeah, forget about that. When you ask about the fact of mismanagement of COVID, almost 5,000 murders in 9 years, home invasions, record reports of extortion, kidnapping incidents, poor academic performance in our school system, the stagnant economy, which of course is no direct foreign investment, no major revenue generating programs or policies, unemployment at an all-time high, citizens, small and medium business owners. When it comes to Forex, Petrotrin, dead babies in the NICU, the 4% offer, millions of dollars unaccounted for, poor infrastructure, poor healthcare, senior citizens as soft targets. The Prime Minister accepts the salary increase. The most vulnerable in our society cannot access social assistance, property tax increase in utility rates, and we're hearing cost overruns at the Tobago terminal. All of that that you have been plagued with can easily be dispelled. So is it that the PNM believes that let's take Mr. Hines out of the equation and all that he has failed to do or accomplish at the Ministry of National Security to protect the citizens will simply not be part of the campaign? And perhaps by telling even Mr. Imbert, here what, you're going to come through if I have to bring you through the Senate, but we can't put you up. And by removing him, Is it that monies and everything that has to be accounted for is simply not going to be a part of the campaign? And what say you? Well, you can hit us up. Of course, if you're making your WhatsApp call, it's 494-0938, 494-0938. And of course, if you're calling in on our other number here, that number is 225-9790, 225-9790. Take a short break, come back, take your calls. You can start calling now, so by the time you get back, you're going to be on the inside. We'll be right back.
This Christmas, take advantage of all the top quality hardware supplies at the lowest prices, only at Midland Hardware, number 97 Eastern Main Road, Aruka. Supreme Emulsion Paint, only $70.50. Water tanks from $841. Thinset from $48. Single kitchen faucets from $71. Face basin taps from $31. Pitch pine doors, all sizes, $465. Plain flush doors, all sizes, $245. Entrance locks and deadbolts, $50 and up. Savings on toilet sets, face basins, and all concrete blocks. We also stockpile sand and gravel. Everything for home and business projects. Payments via links, credit cards, online payments, or cash on delivery. WhatsApp 327-7761 or give us a call at 646-2144. Open Sunday to Sunday from 8 a.m. From foundation to finish, it's all at Midland.
We are back. Thank you so much, Master Control. The lines are open. We do have someone on there. Go right ahead, sir.
Good night, Mikey King.
Good night.
Mikey,
Yeah.
that man Ramajay all over the place, right? The defining factor is Dr. Rowdy. He moved the man left, right, and center like a chess piece. His hands. He was in everywhere. Everywhere he went, he failed. You remember he had a song with Jesus, with his thing? Everywhere Jesus went, he was doing good. But everywhere the Caroline went, he was failing and doing bad. And this is what he's been doing in the National Security Ministry.
Yeah, but the fact about it, Caller, is that Mr. Garcia is making it clear that they believe they have a campaign. They're confident that they have many things to campaign on.
Well, yes, Mikey, I have to believe him because after the opposition leader broke this story Monday night with this $431 million in Tobago with that overrun, me ain't see nobody talking about that. All these media, they only talking about Kareem Marcel, whatever his name, like if he's Jesus Christ reincarnated coming to Trinidad to save everybody's soul. And that is what the agenda is. The media pushing that narrative too. You understand? These people in this country happy, them not about what's going on in this place, you know. All these things happening around them and they accepting it. They accepting it, like Mikey. I seen that for myself. The right thinking people ain't thinking like them, you know. But they're seeing these individuals all over the place talking like it's CNN do nothing wrong in this country, Mikey. Nothing at all. The kind of wool they're pulling at people's face there right now. Right? Stupid people supporting them will continue to support that. And all for what? For window and window dressing and all of that. We ain't buy this thing, you know, Mikey. But if people take gold out of their thoughts and put them back there, they will eat the bread the devil need. Have a good night.
Thank you. We have someone else. Go right ahead, caller. Yeah, lower the volume on the background there. Go ahead. Good night, good night. Yes.
Why this guy is just talking? I want to just you should remember Maurice Marshall. Was it just the whoever passed through our seat? Like a dog, the heavy people are
Yeah. Well, you know, again, what stood out to me is the fact of the matter is that the incumbent is saying, and the role of the incumbent in the campaign is always to say that we have done good, we have been successful, we have elevated your lives, give us another chance to continue the work that we are doing. But that's not the reality of what we're facing in Trinidad and Tobago. So that really says a lot. Yeah, good evening. Good evening.
Hey, Mikey.
Yes, what's up?
Good night.
Yeah, good night.
That fellow who you talked to just now, he totally brainwashed by Mikey. Mikey?
Yes, go ahead.
That fella totally brainwashed by.
No, but hold on. But again, the fact of the matter is, they are going to campaign on something.
Well, you can see at the campaign too. But what they campaigning on, they making no sense right now, Mikey. He's talking about the intelligent, self-praise, no praise, you know. Intelligent party and all this stupidness. So what do you see? A book or what? Garcia, you know what you're talking about, Mikey? It's all over their mind. Maybe what you use tonight for going to take place Saturday.
No, every issue that has taken place, I asked him about it and he said that those things can be easily dispelled.
Easily discussed?
They can easily be thrown off, basically. They're not major issues. They're not major issues. So for the last 9 years, all that we as citizens had to endure, those issues are not going to be part of the campaign. So then, you have people who are going to come and tell you that they did great, they did a good job, they managed everything, give them another chance.
I think this time they're fooling themselves. He fooling himself, Mikey. And you know that. You didn't want to tell him that on the program. But everybody fed up on that stupidness when he talking there. For the time he could reach the top, whatever the intelligent party. So UNC is stupid? And the people in this country is stupid? No, I got here, man. Them fellas singing for the supper, Mikey.
All right.
Right?
Thank you, sir.
Right.
Hey, don't forget, our bodies are under stress from environmental toxins to work stress to poor food choices and low nutrients in the food we eat. Our bodies are under a lot of stress, and all of these can lead to high inflammation levels. So, omega-3 fatty acids helps the body reduce inflammation. Omega XL. Pick up your bottle of Omega XL today. Running down a list of all that we've endured in the last 9 years, and the PM is saying, listen, we did good. We were successful, and that's the rule. That's the fact of the matter. If you are in office, you are the incumbent, you now have the responsibility. It relies on you to say, listen, we demand that you continue voting for us because your lives have been elevated and you're living good. But you are saying different. We're all saying different, that we want to live better. So what say you? The lines are open, 225-9790, and of course, if you're making your WhatsApp calls, 494-0938. Want to hear from you on the outside. You know, it's amazing. Oh boy, coming in at the same time. Yes. Hello?
Good night, Mikey.
Good night.
And to all your listeners, I want to clap back at Garcia's utterances that everything could be dispelled. And he take a position just like Keith Christopher Rowley, blaming somebody else. And I want to focus on COVID. And it looked like he had something wrong with his mind. I made a mistake and used the foolish word on a program, and I don't want to go down that route.
Okay.
Terrence the Terrible told us we have zilch of a chance of getting COVID. People can't remember that. So if a man tell you we ain't getting COVID, what you setting up the population for? Simple as that. You're setting up the population to dead. The other thing is, we have to pin deaths on Keith Christopher Rowley's chest when he got free vaccine and he refused to take it to save people's lives. Mia Motley, the fellow from, I think it's Antigua, and somebody else in the recent CARICOM in Guyana, all of those heads of government gave Moody the highest honor possible for a visiting prime minister, etc. Because of the vaccine made free. They understood that. Keith Rowley refused that. He said nothing for them. Let them dead. And people can't get away from that. Look how you say everything could dispel. When Keith Christopher Rowley went recently to Barbados, what he went for? I hear former finance minister laugh at him. She said he went for a vacation. Listen to this. What he said in his Facebook post before he goes and the reality of what happened in Barbados is two different things. They don't mesh. Barbados did three things during that weekend vacation for Rowley. They celebrated the independence. They celebrated Chisholm 100th birthday because he's a Bajan. And Jeffries, who is president of the Black Caucus in the thing, basically endorsed what the Congress approved for Barbados with respect to financing. We in Trinidad he's supposed to come back to Trinidad and tell you we have a special celebration for Stokely Carmichael. You know Stokely Carmichael?
Yes,
the same black activists who Eric William banned. They're celebrating their black activists in Barbados, in America, and we fail to do that because the PNM don't like the whole. I'm going to have a nice one. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I don't like the own. Yeah, some folks as well as trying to get in on the outside. Yeah, we had someone who was trying to get on the inside. So I, of course, will get you back to the access here before we go, because I know you've been trying to get in. Pleasant good evening.
No problem, Mikey. I'm looking at this program at Barry, but I hear a caller talking to you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
You're live, go ahead.
Well, you have more belly than Garcia. What to listen to him. This man is a spin doctor in every sense of the word.
Yeah, what I found interesting is the fact that they do have a campaign, and they are going to roll out a campaign.
Well, exactly, and just as the previous caller was saying, they intend to dispel everything.
Yeah.
So what happened to the population after all the suffering that they had in the last few years?
It didn't exist.
My God. And everybody else is to blame. I put a comment there. He's a real spin doctor.
Yeah.
Even he's trying to take away the blame from Imbut.
Yeah. That tells you something. So is it then that the strategy is going to be to move away certain individuals, and that's going to take away all the shortcomings and the fact that they did not do a good job?
Well, I guess this is their last resort.
I guess so. It's all cosmetic, but I guess it's their strategy.
Yep.
And thank you so much.
No problem, Mikey.
I wish I could take some more calls, but our time is up, and I know so many people are trying. Of course, tomorrow morning on the ground report, you can add your voice to it as well. I mean, Mr. Garcia made it quite clear. You have a list of things because you're living it on a daily basis, but it can easily be dispelled. Your savings that are no longer in your account that you had to use for medical, whatever, that didn't happen. Someone jumping through your window or kicking down your door and assaulting you and your family, if it happened to you, God forbid, some saying it never happened. All of these things can be dispelled. So what do? How do you prepare yourself? You have to get involved. Candidates are being named. Get into their campaign. Get into their camp. This is going to be quite a battle. Because when you think that people are simply just going to move aside and roll over for you to waltz into power and for that change to take place, that is not the reality. You have to want to live better more than anything else moving forward. Hey, that brings us to the end of our program. Until next week, Tuesday, I want to thank you so much. Again, remember, we're observing, but action has started and a lot is taking place. Until then, be safe.
Observer. Mikey care.